Hi, my name's Scott Hebbard from Spark Systems, and this video will examine some of Enterprise Architect's new simulation capabilities. Simulation can help you to explore different alternatives and assess the impact of decisions before committing funds or implementing a process. The EA example model illustrates how Enterprise Architect can simulate activity diagrams, interactions, and state machines. In most circumstances, Enterprise Architect can simulate a diagram without any additional configuration. Let's demonstrate using this simple activity diagram. We can use the diagram context menu to execute a simulation. There are three options: interpreted, manual, or we can use an existing build script. In this case, I'm going to select manual. Each model element will be interpreted as an execution step in the simulation. Enterprise Architect uses shading to obscure inactive nodes. It also highlights the current execution step. It also uses shading and a bold black line to indicate the next potential path, helping you to visually track execution at runtime. Enterprise Architect has also provided a dialog box to manually select the most appropriate path. I'm going to select Fill Order. You can see that the simulation window now indicates that the simulation has ended. The simulation window also provides tools to play, pause, and stop a simulation. If a simulation was too fast or too slow, you can adjust the speed of the simulation to better suit your needs. I shall now demonstrate the dynamic simulation capabilities of Enterprise Architect. And I'll do this by looking at this state machine model. The state machine on screen describes the state of a pedestrian crossing and demonstrates the capability of evaluating code during a simulation. The code itself has been written using JavaScript. If we open the execution analyzer, we can look at the build script for our simulation. You can see that we specify the entry point, which is pedestrian crossing. We have a UML basic platform, and we've also selected an option to evaluate guards and effects using JavaScript. It's important to note that this option is only available in the Corporate Edition and above. In the Professional Edition, simulation can only occur manually. This input box can be used to initialize variables that will be used throughout the simulation. Let's have a look at how guards and effects are implemented in our simulation. If I double click this transition, you can see that there is a guard and effect listed here on screen. Enterprise Architect tests the guards on outgoing transitions and control flows and will only move forward if there is a single true path to follow. Otherwise, the simulation is considered blocked and manual intervention will be required. It's also important to note that all simulation variables that will be referred to or evaluated at execution time must be prefixed with sim or with this. And clearly in these two examples, it has been prefixed with the word sim. The Breakpoints tab allows you to set and manage breakpoints within a simulation. This allows you to examine variables and manipulate the control flow of a simulation. Let's demonstrate by inserting a breakpoint. I'm going to select Vehicles Green Weighting and insert a breakpoint. There are three separate techniques for executing a simulation. Let's have a look at them now. So I can either do it via an interpreted method, a manual method, or I can use the build script. In this particular example, I'm going to select interpreted. You can see that execution has halted at our breakpoint, which is represented by this small green circle. If we look at the local variables window, you can see that there are a number of variables listed. What I'm now going to do is I'm going to use the simulation window to resume execution until the end of the simulation. Finally, I'm going to demonstrate how to simulate an interaction. You can see that the interaction is shown on screen. We can use the execution analyzer once again to look at our build script. And you can see that the entry point is close account. The platform is YourMail Basic, however this time we have not selected the option to evaluate guards and effects using JavaScript. What I'm going to do is I'm going to right click our build script to start our simulation. Once again, Enterprise Architect allows us to select an appropriate branch. I'm going to get confirmation. If we have a look at the execution, you can see that the simulation has now ended. For more information on simulation and many other features, visit www.sparxsystems.com.